Topic public key algorithms, RSA and digital signatures in this session. So let's start with that. So first of all, let us see public key algorithms, and under that we will see RSA algorithm. So RSA algorithm is a public key encryption technique, and it is considered as the most secure way of encryption. Till now we have seen the encryption standards and different algorithms like DES and AES in the previous sessions. Public key algorithm has the RSA algorithm, which provides an encryption technique for the most secure way of encryption. It was invented by three scientists, Rivest, Schmidt and Edelman in the year 1978, and hence the name RSA algorithm. The RSA algorithm holds the following features. First one, the RSA algorithm is a popular exponential in a finite field over integers including prime numbers. The integers used by this method are sufficiently large, making it difficult to solve. There are two sets of keys in this algorithm. The first one is public key and the second one is private key. Now, the RSA method is based on some principles from number theory. That means here we need to use the prime numbers, we need to multiply it, and we need to perform some operations on it. So how it works, let's see. First step is to choose two large prime numbers. Let us denote it is with P and Q. This should be typically of 1024 bits. So the first step over here in this algorithm is to select two large prime numbers. Next step is to compute the product of these two large prime numbers, which we will denote with n. So here n will be equals to P multiplied by Q. That means multiplication of two prime numbers that we have selected. And z equals to P minus 1 into Q minus 1. That means we need to subtract 1 from each of these selected prime numbers, and then we need to obtain the product for this 2, which we will denote it as z. So the step 2 is to provide multiplication of P and Q, denoting it as n, and multiplication of P minus 1 and Q minus 1, denoting it as z. Next step is to choose a number relatively prime to z and call it d. Now the next step is to find e, variable e, such that e into d equals to 1 modulo z. To encrypt a message using this, that means p, we need to compute the encryption or the ciphertext c, that is equals to pe into modulo n. So this is the formula of obtaining the ciphertext. Next, to decrypt the ciphertext, that means to recover the original message at the receiver side, based on the decryption algorithm, we need to compute P, that is equals to CD modulo N. These are the basic two formulas which are used for obtaining ciphertext and plain text. The public key consists of the pair E comma N, that means E and the private key consists of D and N variables. So we can say that the public key consists of En and the private key consists of Dn. So this is how public key and private key is obtained for RSA algorithm. You can have the examples based on this. That means it may happen that the two prime numbers are given to you. Based on these prime numbers, you need to find the ciphertext and plain text by following the steps given above. And according to that, you need to obtain the public key and private key, or it may happen that it is already given to you. Okay? So make practice of such examples. Now, the next topic is digital signatures. I hope that all of you are aware about the word digital signatures. You must have heard it before because nowadays signature is required for authentication of documentation digitally, because it is not possible for us to sign physical documents at all the times, and it is more convenient to give the digital signature to authorize some documents. So, digital signature is a way which can provide authentication of data at distance or remote locations also. The authenticity of many legal and other document is determined by the presence or absence of an authorized handwritten signature. And photocopies do not count. For computerized message systems to replace the physical transport of paper and ink documents, a method must be found to allow documents to be signed in an unforgeable way. The problem of devising a replacement for handwritten signature is a difficult one. Basically, what is needed is a system by which one party can send a signed message to the other party in such a way that the following conditions hold. The condition 1 is that the receiver can verify the claim identity of the sender. Second one is the sender cannot later repudiate the contents of the message. And the third one is the receiver cannot possibly have concatenated the message himself. The first requirement is needed, for example, in financial systems. When a customer's computer orders a bank computer to buy a ton of gold, the bank's computer needs to be able to make sure that the computer giving the order really belongs to the company whose account is to be debited. In other words, the bank has to authenticate the customer and the customer has to authenticate the bank. The second requirement is needed to protect the bank against the fraud. Suppose that the bank buys a ton of gold and immediately thereafter the price of the gold drops sharply. A dishonest customer might sue the bank claiming that he never issued any order to buy gold. When the bank produces a message in court, the customer denies having signed it. The property that no party to contract can later deny having signed it called as non-repudiation. The digital signature schemes that we will now study help prove it, or it will help to provide it. The third requirement is needed to protect the customer in the event that the price of gold shoots up and the bank tries to construct a signed message in which the customer asks for 1 bar of gold instead of 1 ton. In this fraud scenario, the bank just keeps the rest of the gold for itself. Symmetric key signatures and asymmetric key signatures are used for digitally signed documents. One approach to digital signature is to have the central authority that knows everything and whom everyone trusts. Each user then chooses a secret key and carries it to the office and so on. So here the symmetric key algorithms are used and public key and private key signatures are used. A structural problem with symmetric key cryptography for digital signature is that everyone has to agree to trust some particular issue or some particular person. Furthermore, the person gets to read all signed messages. The most logical candidates for running to that particular person serve the government, the banks, the accountants, and the lawyers. Unfortunately, none of these organizations inspire total confidence in all citizens. Hence, it would be nice if signing documents did not require a trusted authority. Fortunately, public key algorithms or public key cryptography can make an important contribution in this area. Here it is assumed that public key encryption and decryption algorithm have the property that E of D of P equals to P, that means of plain text. In addition, of course, the usual property that D of E of P equals to P. So, based on the RSA algorithms, digital signature can also provided. Using the public key cryptography, it is also provided. So, in subsequent revision, the point is that digital signatures are useful when some conditions are satisfied, and after that it is very convenient to use to sign the documents digitally rather than physically. It is also easy to transfer the digitally signed document to distant locations or to remote locations, as you don't need to transfer the messages or the important documents in a courier or in some other way physically. You just have to mail or you just have to send it to the desired party or to the desired person. So it takes very less time as compared to the physical transmission of documents. And with the technological advancement, there are so many ways that provides the authentication of document on a highly secured manner and highly trusted way. So I hope that digital signature concept and the RSA algorithm is clear to you now. Keep practicing or keep reading these topics that will be more useful to you. These are the references for this presentation you can refer through. There is a site that is also important for you to understand the concepts of cryptography in detail. Thank you. Thank you for listening.